So the protests in Mexico have gotten violent and there's looting. They're destroying the cities that took decades to get that nice. They're not realizing or understanding that it's capitalism. The businesses raise their prices, the landlords raise their prices. They saw an opportunity and they took it. And you know what happens when there's capitalism and everything's working correctly? There's more jobs. But when you start destroying areas the way they are, breaking everything, looting everything, they're also spray painting everything. People are already saying there's videos all over social media of the people who are being targeted in Mexico, the foreigners. They want out. They want to leave. Answer me this. What happens if they do leave? What happens if they don't come back? What happens if Mexico decides not to rebuild? What happens if the business owners decide to close their businesses and not reopen? What happens to all the jobs? Maybe they didn't think that far down the line and think it through. But again, it's capitalism that has everybody in Mexico angry. It's not the foreigners that came there. They've been coming for decades, bro. It's nothing new. Yeah, maybe remote work is new, but there's always been people that lived in TJ and worked in San Diego since I was a kid. I used to, just like a lot of other people in Generation X that were in SoCal, we drove to TJ and partied on the weekends and then drove back home the same fucking day, up all night, regularly. No fucks given, no worries in the world. 18 years old, coming back over drunk as fuck, and they didn't do anything, you know? But we were taking our dollars and spending them over there, and it was creating jobs. See how that works? And there's so many people that are fearful of what's happening in Mexico because the country's getting ready to experience really bad inflation as well. The economy there is crashing, and they're not going to be able to hide it. And I know there's a lot of people here in America who disagree with me, um, and a lot of them are of Mexican descent or were born of parents with Mexican descent, I should say. But they don't realize, see, they don't digest as much information as I do, and then find commonalities within that information. And inflation's going to get bad. The economy's crashing. There's no work. Where have you seen this before? We know how this plays out. It's not hard. History, if you pay attention to history, you learn a few things here and there. You start to see patterns. The patterns are there. The country's in trouble. Why do you think the Mexican president was so upset when Trump said, we're going to charge you 5% for the money that's sent from the United States to Mexico? And it was a total of a couple $1 billion because 60 billion plus go there annually. Why do you think she was so angry? America's been subsidizing Mexico for decades. Why do you think they're so mad about the tariffs? Why do you think there's no jobs? Again, a lot of those factories, they see the writing on the wall and they're going to have to move production over. They've already made announcements. There's plenty of digital information out there that you can see the people who used to work in those factories are saying, a la verga, we're fucked. They're taking the jobs and they're closing the factories. BYU was putting a factory, BYU's that Chinese electric company, they were putting a factory there that was miles long. And now they're not. Think about it. Think about how many trucks used to drive over from Mexico with all the exports into America. And now the tariffs stopped. Go look for the videos of all the truckers or all the people saying this used to take hours to get through this line and there was truckers everywhere, and now there's not. The information's out there, you just have to digest it. I digest information. It's one of my gifts. I have excellent listening skills and I see patterns. So when a lot of people say, source, give me your source, what is it? Yeah, bro. Whatever, bro. Don't. Scroll. It's free to scroll. It's okay. You don't have to like and comment my shit. I don't care. Um, the point of the matter is, a lot of the stuff that I said it early, and then it happened. And for those who have been following me for about a year, because I started about a year ago, they've seen the patterns. They've seen, yeah, sometimes he fucks up, and then, but he's right more than he's wrong. Because I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I digress. The patterns are all there. It's like the pattern of the protesting, the rioting. Think about it. Think about what we're seeing. They do it over here. For what reasons? They're not even going over there. And now they're doing it over there, and they're destroying their own cities, their own, for what? Is Mexico going to rebuild? Mexico is potentially going into a recession, going to rebuild that stuff. If the foreigners leave, I said this already. Why am I saying it again? If they leave, the business owners are going to be like, a la verga, pa qué? Why open up again? In the end, citizens are hurting themselves in Mexico for the way they're acting. And that's based on the information that I've seen. And it could be that I got it wrong, but time will tell. See, I got time on my hands. 6 minutes and 32 seconds. La verga. What was I thinking? Too passionate about this shit.